your vision or if your dream doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough.
I think this is also very important. If you have a continuous learning mindset, then even if you are not capable right now, you make yourself capable in the near future. Once you get into a leadership, hard work is not everything. You're working smartly on a strategic topics and people are having a visibility about you and your work. You need to make the connections, you need to make the networking, and slowly when you do those networking, you will get those opportunities. So here you're not bypassing your manager, you're making your own connections. Your team is not the only place where you should look for the promotion or look for the next role. You need to look for other places.
The fact you're doing the same thing for years doesn't make you a top performer. The fact that you're in the same role for years doesn't show automatically that you're a top performer.
Who could be a top performer? In my perspective, a top performer who is ready to take any challenge. Who is the one when everybody is putting their heads down and this guy hands it up and says, hey, I will do it. This is the top performer. Who doesn't get scared of taking any risk? Who loves taking challenges?
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the GrowthPlug Podcast, where we learn to live by design and not by default. And as we all know, this is where we have conversations with people and we get to encourage other people, our audience, to take those bold steps that typically they've always wanted to take, but for some reason there are doubts, which is quite normal. We're hoping that by the time you listen to our guests share their own stories and the things they have done, this will encourage you to go into the world and do the thing you feel you're called to do and make an impact. For today's episode, I have a leadership, a career coach, also a product manager, someone with a lot of experience in product program management, and he's going to share his own story of how he's living by design and not by default, and all the intricacies around it, alongside what he does. And I know you're going to enjoy this conversation. Harit, nice to have you on the call. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I hope after this podcast, your audience will also get a lot of learnings and guidance from our discussions. I'm good. I'm very nice. I'm very excited to be over here, and I hope this is going to be a very nice journey for both of us and all the people who are listening to it. Thank you for having me over here. How are you doing, Wilson?
Very good. I am doing well. I think just before we start recording, I just mentioned that I'm actually very excited because one of my products for content creators just went live. So I'm originally from Nigeria. And the name of the application has a deep Nigerian meaning. Yeah, it's something that I am quite excited about. And people who come from the region I come from, once they see the name, they're like, oh my God, I can relate with this name. And I'm hoping the more people get to see the platform and hear our story, they can relate with it. It's all about building communities because we believe a lot in living in a community. And I think we also talked about this the first time we connected. Same thing with India, right? That whole coming together as a community. And this particular product is to help people find like minds and build communities as well. So just super excited about this whole journey for us. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, many congratulations. I hope you get a lot of success and super good product launch as well as the many more futures, which gives you a lot of fruits and benefits from this product. So
Thank you. Thank you. So now over to you. So most people might not know you. Who is Harit? So that people can really know who they are listening to.
Yeah. So Harit is a person who believes in a lot of change, who believes in a lot of learnings. Harit is a person who believes in a lot of fun. So one side, when I'm trying to work hard, on the other side, I really wanted to have fun all the time. So I'll tell you a little bit about from my past journey. When I was doing in school, there was one of the biggest exam. Normally in India, you have to clear 10th and 12th, which is a big thing for the exams. And just before my 10th exam, for the maths exam, which is my favorite subject, I was having a fun in a newly opened amusement park. And everybody was shocked. Is this guy going to flunk or fail in the exam? And if you flunk in this exam, then you need to have a 1 year of drop.
Mm.
So this is a very big thing. And next day, I was just having fun, chill, and I was just meeting everybody. And they said, "Hey, please don't talk to us because you are going to flunk, and we need to study just before the exam." And I was the one who never wanted to study just before the exam, because if you have done your preparation well, you can take any obstacles, any challenges, what comes in front of you. And I was not a studious or not the A1 or A plus grader, but I knew what I'm doing. It is good enough for now. I was having a more than distinction marks in that exam. A lot of people were shocked when they saw me that even after studying so much, they still got similar to my marks. So I believe in a lot of hard working, smart working, learning, challenging, and keep doing the fun part. Now, on the other side, I have 2 decades of experience now in a IT world. Like everybody else, I started as a junior developer, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have a roller coaster ride where I became architect, program manager. Now I'm doing a product management. And I worked with CXOs. I worked with a lot of executives all together. So this is comes from my professional background. When it comes on the educational side, I'm very happy. I didn't want to do that, but somehow my brother was pushing me. Harit, yeah, you have a lot of good technical background. Why don't you get into a business? And being a junior guy, I was like, no, technical is not everything I wanted to have it.
Mm.
But slowly I changed my mind. Like if I have to grow, it's very, very important to understand why I'm doing something. Because as a junior, we always think about what and how.
Yeah.
But why is the most important thing? And the business knowledge gives you a very good idea about doing this. And then again, on educational side, I said, okay, let me do the MBA. So I did my MBA from one of the top universities of India. I think they are in top 10 or top 5. But when I was doing it, I think that was the changing time in my whole career or in my whole life. Then I said, now if I have to do something, I'm going to do it the best thing I could do. I'm
Mm.
going to put everything I have to do it in this so that later I don't regret that I wish I could have done something more beyond that. And for MBA, I decided I want to top this batch. I want to become a first holder in this batch and I would do anything. So I worked hard. I really worked so much over there. I just got married at that time, so it was a very tough time for my wife as well because I was always working, office, education, MBA, thesis, case studies, etc. But I'm very happy that I topped that batch. I got a gold medal from Finance Minister of India, so that's a proud moment.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one, but I personally didn't feel like because and this is the one mistake I was doing it a lot. I always look for the challenge. When I win that challenge, it was a cakewalk.
Yeah.
No, it was not a big deal. Let's move on. I was not celebrating those moments. That was the one of the worst thing I could realize now I was doing it. I mean, if I have done it, whether it's a small thing or big thing, because you started it, it was a big thing. But when you achieve those things, it becomes small because the starting hurdles are always the thing which stops you. But once you achieve to the Mount Everest or to your milestone, then you feel, oh, it's an easy thing. And this is what always happening with me. And then I give a lot of credit to my family, to my friends, and to my network, diversity, and especially to my wife because some of the things I learned from her. She said, "Why don't you celebrate it?" When I got this medal,
Mm.
I came back home and she was having a cake in front of the dining table. I was like, "Why are you doing this?" So she wanted to celebrate it. I didn't want to celebrate that. But now I learned it that she forced me to go from Germany to back to India to receive this gold medal. And I received a very nice
Wow.
welcome and medal from the Finance Minister of India. So that was the memories I had. That was the things I had. So indirectly, what I'm trying to say, you need to start. That is the hurdle. But when you achieve something, it's a very easy thing for you. But please don't forget to celebrate that. So that's very important,
That's
and
a
I
good
love
point.
that part on educational
That's
side.
really good.
Now I'm also have 2 decades of experience, and I always believe giving back to the society in any form I could do it. And now I'm also doing this leadership and career coaching. So I felt whatever I have learned it till now, a lot of people comes to me, and I feel there are so many people who still need those guidance to make sure what mistakes I have done it or what mistakes others have done it, they should not do the same thing. So somebody really needs to have that guidance. So I also do this now, leadership and career coaching on LinkedIn and all other places. So this is what I am and this is how I am. So
Thank you. Thank you for walking us through that. And to be honest, you've done quite a lot. I like the fact you talked about celebrating because to be honest, I think both of us, we share the same mindset initially towards celebration. Because for me, well, I have this simple rule, just my rule, right? I don't celebrate for too long and I don't cry for too long. That's my simple rule in life. I celebrate, but not for too long. And even when things are not going my way, I don't stay there for too long. Yeah, but I had to even learn how to celebrate because before this time, I don't actually. It's just like from the next thing, hey, he's done to the next. But same thing, my wife has taught me how to celebrate a bit more. But my rule is, hey, don't do it for too long. Don't get overly excited about it and just move on. So yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. And then you mentioned your how you a way now you're giving back to society, which is through leadership and career coaching. Let me ask this as a tech person with a lot of tech background, how was that transitioning into or going alongside coaching? Because for most technical people that are very like good at what they do, sometimes they find it difficult to
Yeah.
actually go beyond that technical space. So what led to this one, and how was that transition for you, or bringing this on board to what you currently do? How was that process?
Yeah, yeah. See, I strongly believe that I'm a very ambitious person, and that is the reason I got a lot of feedback. I'm not going to praise myself, but I've received a lot of feedback that I'm also a very high performing person. And with this high performing person, you always think, what's my next challenge? What's next I can solve it? What's next I can improve it? So you always think about the what's next. And when I can tell you about 10 years backstory. When I was almost 10 years of experience, I spoke to my manager and I say, hey, I have done everything in this team. I have done every challenges. I have done it. What's next? And he was asking me, you tell what's next. There are a couple of things behind that you need to take care of your own career. Nobody else will take care of it. The manager is your mentor indirectly, and his responsibility to take care of your career. But he said, what do you want to do next? I was naive and I said, hey, I'm ambitious. I want to go to the top ladder. Okay, what is the top ladder? I said, CEO. Do you think you can be a CEO? I said, yes, I can be a CEO. But the ladder from top to CEO is pretty big. You need to take steps one by one to reach to that level. And then you reach to that level, first of all, and can you survive over there? Can you sustain over there? You don't know.
Mm,
Being ambitious is good, but what I was dreaming it is also good. I was dreaming big. And I learned it from so many things from my diverse network. I'm repeating it again, and from the different books I have read it. The magic of thinking big. Do whatever you want, but think big. And I said, okay, I don't know if I'm a CEO material or not, but at least let me think about it. Let me take a journey towards that direction. Can I do it or can I not do it? A lot of people said, no, it's too hectic and it's too burnout. Then I said, fine, let me take as much work as I could. And then I will decide, am I burning out or not? If I say, hey, I'm burning out right now, no, then you cannot be a CEO. But if I'm taking a next challenge and I'm not burning out, it means I have a capacity of doing more. So that was my thinking of doing it. And the mistake was why this happened is because my manager was asking me, what do you want and how do you want? And I simply said CEO, and he was kind of laughing at me. At least I could imagine now that he was laughing at me, like he is a technical person, 10 years of experience. Now he wants to become a CEO. Then I said, okay, fine. I want to decide myself if I want to become a CEO now, what I should do it. If he cannot guide me, then I need to find out myself
mm,
how I can be taking those steps. And this is how I started looking into this leadership journey. Then I said, okay, I want to get into a leadership role. I want to get into a leadership side. And once I take the first step, I will understand. Then I go to the next step. Then I understand from manager to senior manager to VP to etc. Whatever this comes. So I move in that direction. I started reading. I started learning. I taking coaching myself, books, and most importantly, I was started applying the things. As soon as I learned something, I said, okay, I need to apply that because in the real world, things are very different.
yeah.
And I started doing those things. Conflict management. I love conflict management. I mean, when I go in this discussion, I know this guy going to challenge me. This guy going to try to rip me off. This guy going to insult me in front of everybody. Because if I say 2 plus 2 equal to 4, he said, no, bullshit, it's 2 plus 2 equal to 5. And I have to work with this guy in front of 20 people that ensure that we both align together and we are not going doing this Tom and Jerry fight over there. So I started implementing those conflict management skills over there. I started implementing the team management skills over there. And when people started looking at you, that yes, you have it to be to the next level, then that's how it started going. So once I have done so many things, I learned and I understand it's not only me. There's so many people in the world who are still struggling, and I still have some of these coaches who come to me with almost 10 to 14 years of experience and they are struggling in the same way. I do have
Yeah.
some people who are 18 to 20 years of experience as well, and they're trying to into a leadership side, or they are stuck and they don't know what to how to go to the next level. And there are some people who are at that same moment where I was, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
very happy that those people took that decision seriously and came to me to work on their career path. But if you come after 14, 16, 18, 20 years of experience, it's difficult to diverge into that direction. But that is the foundation. You have done it with 1 decade of experience. Now you need to move towards your next career path. So this is how I have started doing it, and then I realized I wanted to give back because there are so many people who are at this position and they may need somebody who can genuinely tell them from their own experiences as well.
This is fantastic. And you just highlighted one of the key things I always say to people. First of all, your career is in your hand. It might look like that, boss, as much as people like you and they love you, right? You have to decide what you want and take the step towards it. You mentioned something about dreaming big. I just want to reiterate that if your vision or if your dream doesn't scare you, I think someone made this quote, then it's not big enough. Some people feel like thinking that big means you're way too ambitious. It's not being way too ambitious. It's about making impact. It's about doing the things you know you are capable of doing.
Hmm.
And one of the ways to actually do that is set those audacious goals that typically most people will shy away from. And you test, right? Like I like the experiment you put in. If I'm not burning out now, it means I can take more. And if I can take more, it means I can go higher. So why should I stop myself? Just maybe
Yeah.
because people don't believe I should do it. So it just shows how bold you are. And I love that because that's what people are lacking. Some people are lacking. They have some of them even have that nudge to I want to be CEO. For me, I always said every company I joined, I don't see why I should not be CEO of the company in the future. Like for me, I don't see why. Yeah, I know I'm capable. I need to build myself. Maybe I'm lacking a couple of skills. If somebody can do it, why can I not do it?
Sorry, if even if
Yeah.
I'm not capable, I need to prove myself I'm not capable. And if I can
Yes.
say, okay, I cannot be a CEO material, then please prove me what are those gaps I do have so that I can improve it. I'm not saying that, okay, give me the CEO positions. For me, it's always a continuous improvement.
Mm,
If I have a something, tell me. I'm going to work on that. And this comes only when you have a mindset of learning, of continuously doing something, continuous learning. And don't take anything on a negative side when
indeed.
you say, who are you to tell me that I have a gaps? I'm perfect, or I don't think so. You think in this direction, but I don't think in that way. So I think this is also very important. If you have a continuous learning mindset, then even if you are not capable right now, you make yourself capable in the near future.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go deeper into your coaching, the leadership and career coaching. One of the things you talk about, which is very similar to what I do as a coach, is saying hard work is not enough. And some people still don't get this because growing up as well, for me, it was if I worked hard enough, everyone would see that I worked hard enough. I would get what I deserve. I should get the promotion. I should get the finances. But I think life happens and then you realize not really. So maybe you walk us through why is hard work not just enough, right? It's one of the things to do, but that's not the only thing. If you can walk us through that from your
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. I'll give you, I mean, I don't know, I love stories. So I'll tell you another story. When I was not even started my career journey, I was in my college and they were preparing us to take part in the interviews because, in India, it's a cutthroat competition.
Mm,
For one job, there are thousands of people. So you need to put your best. So at that time, one guy said, hey, if you really work so hard and I will give you millions of dollars, would you do it? They said, yeah, 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 I would do it. Fine. Then go outside of the hotel and start saluting everybody every second they are moving from here and there. It's a hard work. Thousands of
yeah.
people are moving it within a 1 minute, and you need to salute, 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 salute like this. It's a really a hard work. And you will get a lot of money. Would you do it? So first of all, person said, no, I will not do it. I will do some better work. So that's the point number one. So hard work is not everything. Now let's assume you are back into some corporate job and are doing a very good thing. But if you're not doing the smartly, then you are working like I mean, I'm not doing any, I'm not, I don't want to use any bad words, but it's just like, you're working like a donkey. Donkey is doing the most hard work ever in all the animals, so still it's a donkey. So you need to work smartly as well. The things which can be done in 10 hours, how can you make it in 5 hours? This is how people will start looking at you as an innovative person
Yeah.
who can improve the things and not just repeat the same thing which is happening. Secondly, why I'm saying it, hard work is not everything, because if you do hard work, probably in a junior level, you can get some good promotions because they are very limited scope. But once you get into a leadership, hard work is not everything. You need to ensure that you're working smartly on a strategic topics and people are having a visibility about you and your work. And most importantly, how you are making your own personal brand and your own visibility. Just by doing a hard work, you would be somewhere in the corner of the office and probably people may not know you. And the credit will be taken over by somebody else. And that's why at the senior level, a lot of people complain that my manager is taking over my credit or my teammate has taken over my credit. And this is what happens if you just keep on working hard on one thing, but you're not working smartly also on yourself, on your visibility, and on about the outcome you are trying to bring it to the outside.
You've mentioned three key things there. Working on strategic stuff, visibility, and like building the personal brand as a way of making that hard work smarter. The question is, even in a corporate environment, is it possible to build a personal brand? And then from a visibility perspective, you mentioned another thing. How do people navigate that? Maybe from your experience where you have a manager who wants to be visible, you also want to be visible. How do you manage that relationship? Because for some managers, they will say, hey, whatever you're doing, obviously channel it through me. And then they go to the bigger space to show us, I did this. You're not in that meeting. So two things. One is, let's say you find a strategic aspect of the business to work on. How do you build your brand within the organization? And importantly, how do you make yourself visible if you sit under probably a manager who really is interested in using your work to be visible? Because I think
Yeah.
those are things that people face in a real
Yes.
workplace. And people that come to me for coaching, they do ask this question. So I really like your perspective on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So now let's assume you have already a strategic project we are working on. I mean, most of the people don't even have that.
Yeah.
So that's a different strategy to get that
Yes.
strategic project. So we can talk about it if it's required. But now let's assume you have this strategic project. And now your manager is also involved and he said, I want to take all credit. Correct? Now there are different ways. I have also said it several times on LinkedIn on my post that your manager is not the one who is going to promote you. The people who are going to promote you is the one who can influence your manager.
Mm.
And this could be their peers. This could be their own managers. This could be the real problem what your manager is having it and nobody is able to solve it. This could be, which happened in my personal case, this could be the problem which your manager's manager is having it and nobody wants to solve it. So somehow you need to work closely with your manager. I mean, I'm not saying like you need to work against him. You need to work with him in a favor of him. I know there are sometimes good managers, there are some bad managers. So again, that's a different thing. But you need to also understand what's stopping your manager, what's causing your manager, and especially their manager. So you need to start doing the networking and making a relationship with all of these people. So once let's assume that you already have a good relationship with your manager's manager, then when you start meeting that person via networking, via coffee or via any virtual discussion or any virtual all hands or virtual discussions or any face-to-face discussions that are happening by your manager's manager, you can put your thoughts over there. You can give your inputs over there,
Mm.
which can help him to see there is a person called Harit. I know him. He reports to Wilson, but he sounds very interesting. He sounds very smart because he really asked me a very good question in this session, or he really gave me a very good input on this problem which I'm struggling. Why don't I bring him up? Why don't I ask him to take this project and drive by himself? So just see in this direction. You got the whole project needs to be drive. You still reports to your manager, but now visibility goes to your manager's managers because he called you from there and he said, why don't you do it? And now that's a good part because now you will get some dotted lines that you are reporting to your manager, but you are giving a status update or the project completion update to the manager's manager also. Now, once you made this dotted line, you have a direct connection with this person. Once you have a direct connection with this person, then you are meeting more frequently. First, where you didn't have a chance at all to meet this person, because your manager is a in between blocker, or how you
Yeah.
want to call it. But now you have a direct connection with this person. Once you have a direct this connection, you are meeting more often. You can tell him about your wishes, you can tell him about your career aspiration, you can tell him about this is what you are driving this project. Now this project gets implemented, probably we need a team of 10, 20 people. I want to drive that team also. So just imagine from here reporting to his peer, his team member. Now you're reporting directly to him. So this is how you can overcome the challenge of having a blocker from the manager. As I said, it's not very easy what I'm trying to tell you right now. It requires a
Yeah.
regular guidance and coaching and mentorship. And this is what we do it in when we have a mentees, because you need to explain the each and every bit of it, which I can't explain in 2 minutes or 3 minutes with you.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing which needs to be there. And secondly, when I always talk about that I have worked with CXOs and executive, how do I do it? How did I do it actually? I made my networking, I made my connections in such a way that I reached to that level also. Otherwise, just imagine a senior executive sitting on top level, executive president. He doesn't know outside this big organization of 100,000 people who is
Yeah.
Harit, who is Wilson, who is somebody else. You need to make the connections. You need to make the networking, and slowly, slowly, when you do those networking, you will get those opportunities. So here, you're not bypassing your manager. You're making your own connections. You're making your own network like that, and you were also asking about the personal branding. So personal branding, it depends how you want to bring it. I mean, you get opportunity to go to and meet to senior executive, and there, if you can't even speak properly, if you can't tell what you bring it to the table, you lost the game
Yeah.
immediately within 30 seconds. So personal branding, it's very important. I am big fan of personal branding within organization and outside organization. Both things are very important for your career growth.
This is so, first of all, so practical. I like what you said about like creating that space. First of all, your network, when it comes to network building, you don't bypass anybody. It's just network building. Like you're building a network. And that can happen in the office or even outside the office, right? It's me meeting new people, communicating what I do, understanding what they do, and just finding a way to meet at and share what I'm good at, and that can create that opportunity, and that's fantastic. One of the things people obviously want to do is get promoted. Everyone, I don't think anyone wants to stay in the same position for forever. Maybe after a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years, depending on what people want, they want to get promoted. And in very large organizations where it's a pyramid system, more and more it looks difficult for people, and then you find some people stay in the same role for 8, 9, 10 years. And I can say this because my background is in the energy industry, and this is very popular, mostly for people in the field, like in the assets. You get to see people who stay that long. And for them, is what can I do? I just can't get promoted. The roles are like it's a pyramid where five of us are on the roll. One of us will have to take the role of the manager. So what do I do? And I know this is something you're also keen on and helping people with. So someone is stuck right now. This person feels they're due for a promotion. They have the experience. They've done the role for a while, and they just can't get that promotion. What do you think they can do? How can they navigate this and get what they want?
Again, there are a couple of things. One, I mean, I will be very honest and clear that it's not a cakewalk that anybody can get promoted. It requires a strategy behind that. Again, as you grow in your career, it's as difficult to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So, point number one, if you want to go to the next level, what is that next level? Are you clear about that next level? Obviously, you want to get promoted. For example, you want to become a manager, then you need to replace your manager. Can you replace your manager? Probably no, until unless he's getting replaced. And this is what I have done it a lot. A lot of people came to me and they said, "Hey, would you like to give up this position, or would you like to give up this project?" And I said, "Yeah, I would like to give up this project, because if I can train somebody to take my position, I'm going to take another position. And this position for sure would be better than the position I'm right now, because they saw me that I have delivered something, and now somebody can else take over. I can take on a new challenge. When I can take on a new challenge, then obviously it comes with a more and bigger responsibility. So if you want to get promoted, either you need to see if your manager can be replaced by you, if your manager is going somewhere and he can give you this position, or you really need to find out a different ways outside your own organization. And if none of the things are working, very honest, you need to quit. You need to find out other places. Your team is not the only place where you should look for the promotion or look for the next role. You need to look for other places. And just to answer your another point which you said, there are five people who are looking for the promotion. It happens all over the world, within the team, outside the organization. Even if I have to apply for the manager position in my organization, probably there are hundreds of people who are coming
Yes.
in. Let's assume you get the interview call also. It's
Yeah.
also sometimes it's not easy. So you get an interview call also, but you still have a competition with 10 people over there. Are you ready with those 10 against 10 people? Let's say 90% you are ready. Because there are so many comes how you are preparing yourself, how you are presenting yourself that time, and how your answers are impactful, your communications, and a lot of things. And this same thing matches with your other person as well. Probably his luck is little bit better than your luck, and he presented in a nice way. He got a job, or somehow you couldn't put that impression in front of the interviewer which this person had done it. So there's a huge competition, and that's why I'm again raising it and telling it to you and to your audience. The most important thing is networking. And I encouraged everybody the mistake I have done it, and several of the other people have done it. They do networking only when they require something. Now I start telling to my coaches and mentees and everybody who comes to me, start networking as soon as we are in the university itself. Don't wait for the next time that you need somebody. So now let's assume you have a network of people in your own organization. And as I explained it to you, how I reached to CXO's level, similarly, you have a network of your own people. You know your manager, you know managers, you know about their peers. You probably know one level up also. As soon as any requirement comes over there,
Yeah.
what they would do, 100 of people will apply. And then when you send a message to that person and say, hey, 100 of the people have applied, I'm also interested. You know me personally because I brought this much of values in your X project and Y project. Would you like to consider me? So at least you will get a job upon an interview opportunity over
Yeah.
there. And then when there is an interview, you and the other person, you are known face, and that person may be an unknown face. The chances of getting a role is higher over here. But if you are messed up totally and that person went really well, then you lost it. So if you want to get a promotion, you need to do a lot of things. If you are aware of your career goals, if your manager is aware of your career goals, if those things doesn't work, then are you making your network around to get your next level of job of whatever you are looking for?
That is good, and that's I think very sound. People usually wait till they need a promotion before they start networking. But what you just said is, hey, as early as you can, start building those relationships so that they already know you. You're not forcing it. You've given yourself and you've given them enough time to know you. And when there's that need, naturally it will just almost happen that way. And that is spot on. One of the things you've mentioned from your own story is being a high and a top performer. And I think this is something people often downplay when they're looking for the next role. The fact you're doing the same thing for years doesn't make you a top performer. The fact that you're in the same role, like for years, actually doesn't show automatically mean that because you spend so much time, you're a top performer. Let's also talk about building capacity because this is also a place that most people are lacking. They want the results of being a top performer, but they are not really top performers. So in your own, from your experience, what are some things you say like defines or makes people top performers so that people know them, that not just because I know your face, but I know your capacity to deliver, because this is quite important both at work and every other circle we find ourselves. People will only come for you when they perceive your value. And most people, honestly, they are not there. Honestly, if we're being honest without sentiments. So for you, as a coach, how do you typically help people? Or first of all, what does it mean to be a top performer? And if someone is struggling, because I currently have someone who is working with me, I'm coaching this person, and this person feels like they can do more, but they are not just there. And we've been gradually working that process to get the person to that space. So, your own thoughts on this? Who is a top performer, and how can
Yeah.
one become a top performer?
Yeah, that's a really nice one. Who could be a high top performer? In my perspective, a high top performer who is ready to take any challenge. Who is the one when everybody is putting their heads down and this guy hands is up and says, hey, I will do it. This is the top performer who doesn't get scared of taking any risk, who loves taking challenges. And you will get only these opportunities based on your past performances. If you have received something, some work, and you have not done anything properly or not delivered it, you will not get these opportunities because they will see your past. So the accountability and the ownership is the most important thing. Are you taking the ownership of overall success and failure? If yes, you could be a top performer because you don't see the work from this angle, but you see the work from this angle and you see one step, two steps ahead as a proactive person, what can be done next. So that's one of the thing. Secondly, I strongly believe you must have a good communication skills. If you can't tell what exactly the other person wanted to hear without making a big stories, they will not consider you as a top performer. At every executive, they have hardly 30 seconds to 1 minute to 2 minutes to listen to one person and come up with us proposals what they want you to do. So the communication skills is the most important thing. So if somebody comes to me, whatever position you are, you want to become an architect, you want to become a lead or manager or senior manager or VP, if you don't have a good communication skills, it's not going to work out. So to become a top performance, you need to keep on taking risk, taking challenges, continuous learning, because sometimes you need to move out of your comfort zone. That's the most important
Yeah.
thing. If you are happy what you are doing right now, then you are not a top performer. You are just an individual contributor who is being in their safe zone. And in the end, you need to have your good, once again, I'm raising it. Once again, you need to have your communication and networking skills because sometimes these challenges comes with a lot of more problems and you must know who can help you out to resolve these problems. If you try to resolve everything by yourself, you're surely going to be doomed. But if you have a good network of people, or if you have the good network of mentors or guidance people who can guide you, then this is also very important. So for me, these are the few skills which you must have to consider your as a top performer. And last but not least, what you said, because I remembered from your thought, there should be a proper mindset also. Because if you always keep yourself at a low level, that I may not be able to do it, that you're challenging yourself, you are not respecting your own capabilities.
Indeed.
Can you do it? Can you not do it? So that growth mindset is also equally important, where you could feel, say, yes, I can do it. Let me do it. Give it to me. I'll show you what is the end result. When are you asking? End of month, I will give you before that. So these kind of confidence only you can show it to other person, even if he doesn't know you, that yes, this guy at least confident and I can try and I can bet on him.
Indeed, indeed. I like the fact around working with other people. I think one of the things people don't understand about top performers is they also have a network of top performers around them.
Yeah,
Most times people don't actually know. So
yes,
you think someone is a top performer because this person just goes around the clock. Yes, this person puts in a lot of work, but what you might not know, that person also has a network of others who are quite good. So things they don't know, they easily reach out to these people. So you mentioned communication, that collaboration, building like really strategic relationships with people who are quite good as well will increase your chances of being also a top performer. And maybe to wrap up our conversation on this, the question is on how do people then try to balance things in their personal lives at work? Because we don't want people just be successful at work at the expense of health, the expense of family and relationship, spirituality for people who are into all of that. How can people create that balance if that is a thing or that harmony to make sure that you don't just succeed because I think that's where people after getting all the accolades at work in their career later they sit back and say yes I had all of this but I don't think I lived a fulfilled life, and that's not what we want someone to live a life where when you look back you say I lived my best life. I got the things I wanted. I am fulfilled. Maybe your thoughts on that. How can people find that harmony and that balance
yeah.
while chasing these things?
See, for that also, I would say there are a couple of steps needs to be done. You can't take one step and leave other, or you simply can't blame your organization and say my manager is like that, or my manager is toxic, or my organization does not support, and that's why I've got too much of work, working midnights, late nights, and having a toxic culture. I would say there are so many things where you need to prioritize. We have only 24 hours. And there, unfortunately, when I was talking to the same thing somewhere else, somebody said, please consider the traffic time which you are using it. So, okay, we'll try to see this traffic time also. But consider this traffic time also for your relaxing time. I mean, I can understand that you are in a traffic and getting stuck, but at least from mind perspective, you can keep little bit on a low pressure, because I know you need to look in front and careful that somebody is not coming, but at least you need to stop thinking from all other things which is there in your mind about your work and everything else. Let me share my schedule with you, and then I will try to
Yeah.
give some hints on that. I usually get up very early. I try that I get up before my family gets up. And this is the time which I give it to myself for my own body, for my own mental peace. So I do yoga, I do meditation at that time. I take care of myself. I do exercise at that moment. Then it's my time to wake my family up, make them ready, make myself ready, go to their respective places, schools or office, etc. I spend full 9 hours in the office, and yes, sometimes I need to do after that also, but full 9 hours. And in the office, you need to maintain the clear boundaries. You need to talk to your manager and everybody else. Hey, this is my work, this is my time, this is my boundary, this is my work, and you need this outcome. I will give it to you. You don't need to follow with me that I will give you today, tomorrow, when. You need have a deadline, give me the deadline. I will work accordingly, and based on that, I will set my own priorities in the organization what I want to do. If there is a conflict, you need to talk to your manager what is the better priorities, etc. Yes, I will not make any fluffy and say, okay, I don't work after 9 hours. Sometimes I do work, because if I'm working with Americans and I'm working with Asians and being in Europe, I need to maintain these time zones. But then I ensure that those times are taken over from somewhere else. If I have to work with Americans in the evening, I do something else in the morning, which helps my overall day schedule. Then I spend time with my family after my office hours, playing with kids, do whatever I want over there, food together with my spending time with my wife. And once they are going to sleep, then once again, I give time to myself. And this is what I do for my self learning. I'm a continuous learner, and this is where I do self learning. It depends what is my next goal. I work accordingly. 2025, one of the biggest goal was to create my own personal brand on LinkedIn. I started with 3,000 followers, and in less than 6, 7 months or 8 months, I had 21,000 followers. So I said I would do anything to create my personal brand and increase my followers on LinkedIn. So I learned about it, I read about it, I studied about it. But few of the things which is very close to me about learning is my communication skills,
Mm.
about the financials, about the leadership, about the team bonding. So these are the things I do my own learning as well. One thing which everybody can do, which I have done it also, I've switched off all the notifications on my mobile except my wife. So I have put all the notifications off, and people normally look into this Netflix, Reels, etc. I only watch for 30 minutes Netflix with my family after the dinner. And all of those reels, it's tempting. And when you start looking at one, you continue doing it. I put a timer over there. All of my social media gets
Yeah.
closed after 15 minutes, because I don't want to spend 15, 30, 45 minutes only on checking the reels and wasting that time and not doing something more productive. Or don't do anything, just sit, relax. Few
Yeah.
days back, I put a one story from one of the executives. I felt he was ignoring me, but no, he was not ignoring me. He was making his mind fresh with the and grasping all the information he had received it in the last 4 or 5 hours. So just sit, relax, and keep your mind and brain some free time. This is also equally important. So this is how I do, and this is how at least I would encourage people to at least start doing it, because here you are taking care of your family, your office, your health, your self-learning. All of things are coming together.
Wonderful. No, thanks for sharing. I think that's spot on. Finding that balance. Same here. Like all my apps, there are notifications. Mostly the ones I know I'm tempted to spend more time. Like just close it because yeah, sometimes you see some interesting stuff. Thank you so much for making time for this call. It's been amazing just having you share with us real life examples on how people can actually take control as much as possible of what's happening within their life. I like the whole strategic thinking around things. Things don't just happen. You have to make them happen. You have to be intentional about them. And thanks for sharing. Before maybe the last question before we go, I always ask this to the guests: how do you relax? I know you've mentioned a couple, Netflix with the family, but what is your relaxation technique? Like when you want to really shut off and just have fun by yourself. What do you do for fun?
See, frankly, I do couple of things for fun, and that's my fun. One, I do yoga. and meditation in the
Yeah.
morning, and this gives me a lot of relaxation overall, and I feel more energetic in the starting of the day. So that's the one thing. Secondly, I read books just before I go to bed, because this some new learnings and some new energy. I said like, wow, why didn't I think it earlier?
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is something new. Let me use it tomorrow. So I'm very excited for tomorrow because I can use some of the things. And these things either in my organization, in my team, or probably on LinkedIn, because I get some idea and I wanted to share that idea on my LinkedIn. So I'm very excited about that. Lastly, I'm not very boring person. I'm very fun-loving person. Come and anybody in your audience, come and talk to me. You would have a great time. So I really spend time for my relax on a vacations with my family and with my friends. I love exploring new places. I always look for some new adventures. I'm not very roller coaster guy, but adventurous means I wanted to check out new things and learn again from that location something out of that. So this is how I relax myself. So I always try to take one small or big vacations every 4 months.
Nice. Wonderful. And thanks for sharing with us. Hopefully, someone also builds their own relaxation method because it's always helpful just to find a way to unwind. It's been a pleasure having you, Harit. And please, our audience, go on LinkedIn. He's very active on LinkedIn. A lot of good stuff he shares. Please go engage him. Reach out to him. He'll respond when he has the time. Yeah. So for today, we say go out there, live a life that you'll be glad you did live that life and not just let life happen to you. For now, take care and see you in the next episode.